Meeting to order. At this time, everybody stand and we'll do the invocation by Mr. Garber.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Father, I'd just like to lift this city up to you, Father, that we may lead this area with your principles. And Lord, please allow us to transform this city into what you have intended for this city. And Father, we pray for peace and health for our residents, and a special request this evening for Maddie, Kelly's daughter. Father, may your presence be felt and a healing hand be placed upon that very special girl. In Jesus' name, amen.
Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. We do have two proclamations tonight, but we'll hold off on those until the recipients get here. At this time, citizens' comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Comments about any of the council agenda items are appreciated by the council and may be taken into consideration at this time and during that agenda item. Council is prohibited from acting on or discussing items brought before them at this time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Cast your vote.
Forgive me.
It's unanimous. Item number 2, public hearing. Hold a public hearing to receive community input on the fiscal year 2023-2024 annual program of services. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is the required public hearing for the proposed budget for fiscal year 2024. And tonight, Leanne Bunselmeyer will make a presentation on this item and item 8, which is the public hearing on the tax rate. If you will allow, she'd like to make the presentation for both of those items now, but you still need to have 2 separate public hearings.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. As the city manager mentioned, tonight is the public hearing for the tax rate and the budget. We intend to adopt both of those at the next city council meeting, which will be, I believe, September 21st. But I want to quickly go over what the impact is and the impact on the tax rate. So this year, our assessed valuation was at $3.3 billion. We calculated the proposed tax rate that we're presenting to you at 52 cents. That is well below the voter approval tax rate of 52,658, and that is the highest tax rate that you as a council could set without triggering an election. And it is below our current tax rate of 54 cents. So all in all, we are lowering the tax rate by 2 cents for our residents. Now, the wording that the state legislature makes us put into the agenda items and so forth does indicate that we are experiencing a tax increase. We are not increasing the property tax rate. Residents may experience an increase in their tax bill due to the increase or decrease of their assessed valuation on their property. And when we look at the impact that on the certified tax roll, as I mentioned, it was $3.3 billion. It was 13.46% growth on that certified value from last year. And most of that was an increase to existing values, 10.32%. So those individuals, even though we did have a decrease in tax rate, those would experience a slight increase in their property tax bill. As far as new improvement, that value, we had an increase of about 1.55% or about $52 million. This is much higher than we've had in the last 2 years, but we do feel that within the next few years, with some of this growth around the Agora district and the transit-oriented district, that we should start experiencing some new values that are coming into our tax rolls. Again, as I mentioned, we are going from a 54-cent tax rate to a 52-cent tax rate, so that is a 2-cent tax decrease. And over the last few years, we have been consistently decreasing the tax rate since 2021. With your average home value this year, it did increase by 10.55% to $389,618. And a resident that has that average home value could expect a tax bill of $2,026 for their city taxes, and that is a $123 increase compared to that same value of the tax rate from last year. Looking at what the budget priorities, I first want to talk about the principles that the budget was crafted and put together by the city manager. One, you want to make sure that we were fiscally responsible and being able to meet all the city departmental needs. Be sure that we maintained all of the statutory requirements and financial policies that the city council has put into place over the past years. And also, probably one of the most important things when putting the budget together is to ensure that we do not use fund balance for recurring expenditures and that we only use them for one-time expenditures, because that is one-time money. That's money that's in the savings. And also, finally, probably one of the most important is to make sure that it did comply or did meet the goals that the council had set within the strategic plan. So when we look at the budget priorities, the biggest priority in this year's budget was public safety for police and fire. That is your biggest department in the general fund at approximately about $15.4 million, or about 59% of our general fund budget. This year we're proposing to increase the public safety pay by raising the minimum salary to $65,000 per year. And there's also various special incentive pays for ambulances, investigators, and so forth that are included in the budget. We've also added 6 firefighters that will be hired through the through the SAFER federal grant. If we are not awarded the grant, then we will not hire those firefighters, but we did put those into the budget. There is an offsetting revenue for that, and we should be hearing about whether we receive that within the next few weeks. We also included a part-time fire inspector to help with the increased inspections and all the growth that is happening. Our current our fire marshal is having to spend a lot of time reviewing plans, so that will help us get caught up on inspections. We're also adding the addition of 2 police officers for our motorcycle traffic unit. We used to have one, but due to staffing issues, we did away with that a few years, so we're helping to get those 2 officers back out on the streets. And then also, what was not included in the proposed budget, but will be in the ordinances that we bring to council in the next few weeks, we did receive a request from the Lake Dallas ISD based on some state mandates on school safety that required required resource officers at every school. We will be amending the proposed budget to add 2 police school resource officers this year as well. All in all, the budget consists of 206.75 positions. In addition to the ones that I just spoke about in public safety, it also includes 5 general non-public safety employees, and these are from streets, finance, water, wastewater, and drainage. As far as operating expenditures, we did focus on preventative maintenance programs for water, wastewater, and drainage, and a lot of this you heard this afternoon or during the workshop from our Director of Public Works, is that we're really trying to make sure that we do more preventative maintenance to make sure that our assets last longer and we don't have to replace them quite as often. All in all, the budget included $6.6 million in new operating and capital funding, and of that, $3.8 million was one-time projects that were using existing fund balance. So just a snapshot of the budget, and this does include the amendment, as I mentioned, of the school resource officers for the general fund. We do anticipate expenditures about $27 million for general fund. Ending the fund balance at 6.9, we will be well above our policy target of 20% fund balance. We'll end at 25.5. The utility fund will have expenditures of $16.8 million. 517 is new program funding, and with this one as well, we will be above our policy target of 25.7. And then our storm drainage fund is our other big operating fund. It has expenditures of $888,000. Of that, $231,000 is new program funding. And their fund balance will be at 57.9%, which again is above the policy target that the council has established. All in all, when you look at, these are our main operating funds, but we do have a lot of restricted funds. The total budget for 2024 is at $56.2 million. And then just overview of our calendar, we did submit the budget to the City Council on July 31st, as was required by the city charter. We also posted it on the city website. We have held 3 workshops on the budget on August 10th, August 17th, and September 9th. Tonight, we are holding the public hearing that is required by the truth in taxation notices that are set by the state legislature. And then we do plan on adopting the budget on September 21st. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Are there any questions from council? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate the presentation. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open up for a public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this proposed budget? If not, I'll close the public hearing. And I believe the recipients of our proclamations are here. And so I'll read those proclamations. And okay, the first one. First proclamation is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the City of Corinth 2023. Addressing the prevention of suicide needs of children, youth, and adults today is fundamental to the future of the City of Corinth. And the citizens of the City of Corinth value their overall health and life and that of our families and fellow citizens, and are proud to support observance such as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And there is an average of 130 suicide deaths per day in the United States. 1 suicide death every 2 hours in our state. And 10% of adults experience suicidal thoughts in the U.S. And 1 in 5 Texas high school students reported seriously thinking about suicide, and 20% making a plan, and 12% making an attempt. And the need for comprehensive, coordinated mental health and suicide prevention services for individuals and families places upon our community is a critical responsibility. There is a strong body of research that supports specific tools that all Americans can use to better handle challenges and protect their overall health and well-being. And each citizen, local business, schools, government agencies, healthcare providers, and faith-based organizations shares the weight of suicide concerns and has a responsibility to promote mental wellness, recovery, and support prevention efforts. And the Denton County Behavioral Health Leadership Team, Denton County MHMR Center, Denton County Zero Suicide Task Force, Denton County Loss Team, and Denton Regional Suicide Prevention Coalition are effectively addressing the mental health and suicide prevention needs of children, youth, adults, and families in our community. And it is appropriate that a month should be set apart each year for the directions of our thoughts towards suicide prevention, education, and support of treatment and recovery. And therefore, be it resolved that I, Bill Heidemann, Mayor of the City of Corinth, do hereby proclaim September 2023 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and I call upon our citizens and all agencies and organizations interested in helping to prevent suicide to unite this month in the observance of such exercises as will commit the people of Corinth to increase awareness and understanding of suicide, the steps our citizens can take to help prevent suicide, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people experiencing suicidal thoughts. Signed the 7th day of September 2023. And tonight we have with us Nellie Dixon, and I believe she's the Program Manager of Crisis Services. And she'll come forward, and I'll present you with this proclamation. We may get a picture taken so you can get it on the front page news. How's that?
That sounds great to me.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Michael's here.
MHMR really wants to appreciate you guys, including the LOST team and the Denver Regional Suicide Coalition and all the other amazing programs that we have at MHMR and around the county. Corinth has always been a really supportive community, and we appreciate the support and the proclamation. It really means a lot to not just us, but every community member and anybody that has suicidal thoughts. So thanks, guys.
Does anybody have any questions? No. Thank you. I appreciate you coming tonight.
Thank you.
We're glad to do it. Okay, we have our second proclamation is Live United Month, September 2023, United Way of Denton County. United Way of Denton County celebrates 70 years of impact across Denton County in 2023. And by working together with supporters and collaborators across Denton County, United Way of Denton County improves access to education, economic mobility, and health and mental health for over 42,000 residents annually. United Way of Denton County leads the efforts to close gaps and open opportunities for every person in Denton County and works with a network of nonprofit governments, businesses, and donors to respond to our neighbors' immediate needs and seek out better solutions for larger community-wide issues. Therefore be it resolved that I, Bill Heidemann, Mayor of the City of Corinth, hereby declare September 2023 Live United Month and proudly join the United Way of Denton County in calling on all residents of Corinth to give, advocate, and volunteer as we live united to build a healthier Denton County for all of us. Signed the 7th day of September 2023. I believe Melinda is at Gower.
Yes, sir.
And she's here to receive that. And Teddy Yan, he's also UNDC staff. So you come down front, we'll get your picture taken, and you'll have a chance to tell us a little bit about United Way. Thanks for coming. Congratulations. Okay. Okay, this is front page. Thank you. Congratulations. You got it.
Well, I would just like to thank you, Mayor and Council, for helping us recognize the month of September to Live United. We appreciate you helping us to further our mission of improving and transforming the lives of our friends and neighbors in Denton County. I also would like to invite you, if you haven't bought a ticket yet, we kick off our campaign. The first kickoff breakfast is tomorrow morning, yes, Friday, at the Gateway Center at UNT at 8 o'clock. And then the next kickoff is next Friday at the Hilton Garden Inn in Louisville at 8 o'clock. Tickets are available on our website, and we would love to have you join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Any questions for United Way? Go ahead.
I just also want to say I love crossing paths with MHMR staff at every proclamation because we serve as the backbone support to the behavioral health leadership team in Denton County, and I really appreciate the partnership that we have between our organizations around mental health and especially around suicide prevention. That's a matter that's dear to my heart. So.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming. Okay, next item is hold a public hearing on proposal to consider a tax rate on Thursday, September 21st, 2023, which will exceed the no new revenue tax rate and will increase total tax revenues from properties on the tax rolls in the preceding tax year. Mr. Campbell.
Mayor, give us just 1 second to make sure we didn't skip a step on the public hearing. We were just double checking. Everything's perfect. Mayor, Leanne has already covered the information on the tax rate. This is the required public hearing, and we will answer any questions that you have further. Thank you.
Are there any questions from council? If not, I'm going to open this up for the public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to the tax rate that's proposed? If not, I'll close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion on that item. No motion?
No action on this until the 21st.
Okay.
The next item will be a public hearing and an action item.
Item number 9, hold a public hearing, consider an act on the ordinance amending section 50 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Corinth to increase the water and wastewater rate. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You've seen a few presentations from our consultant on recommended changes to our utility rates, and Leanne will cover this information tonight, and we are asking for consideration and action on this after the public hearing.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As the city manager mentioned, we have had a few presentations from our rate consultant, Raftelis, on the rate structure and financial plan for the water and wastewater fund. The rate design that they have recommended does include an increase of 5% for the water rates for 2024 for next year, and then a 2% on the fixed charge for wastewater and 3% on the volumetric for wastewater. Now, primarily, the increases for these are on several different factors. One is we do have some capital projects that we've issued debt and that are planning to issue debt that are going to increase our need for additional revenue. But primarily, we have received an increase of about 6.1% from Opportunity on our purchase in water and treatment of wastewater. And we've also received an 11% increase from the City of Denton on the wastewater side. So these were significant increases that when we looked at our need for revenues that were factored in. The rates also include an increase in the irrigation class by 10%, and then wastewater commercial phase in on the cost of service. When they did the rate design, they saw that on the commercial side that it wasn't quite meeting the use that our commercial customers were using on the wastewater. So they do recommend that over the few years that we do have substantial increases for those. And so the first year is included in the rate design. And then another recommendation that they had was to evaluate our asset management program and put in some different factors on preventative maintenance. And we plan on having another workshop probably in about October, November to talk a little bit more in detail about how we can move from an asset. We will still have to replace assets, but really start focusing on asset rehabilitation versus replacement. So when we look at our rates, as far as your residential customers, they primarily use a 5/8 meter, so their fixed charge will go from $44.62 to $47.30. So that's an increase of about $2.68 a month. Your volumetric, again, that is increasing the 5%. So from 0 to 5,000 gallons, you see an increase of about 13 cents. All the way up to your highest gallon, which is over 50,000 gallons, and that is at 73 cents. When you look at their senior rate tier, the 0 to 5,000 still includes the 5,000 gallons in the base rate or the fixed charge. So there is no charge for 0 to 5,000 gallons. So a senior would only see about a $2.68 per month increase, as all of our seniors pretty much fall within that 5,000, that first category of rates. When we look at our commercial rates, your average commercial side is about a 1-inch meter. So their fixed charge would go from $62.47 to about $66.22. That is a $3.75 increase per month. Where you see a little bit higher increases on the commercial side. So at 0 to 50,000 gallons, it's a 31-cent increase. And then if you're over 500,000 gallons, then it is a 73-cent increase. Now, one thing that I failed to mention is that all of our rates are built on conservation. So it's trying to promote conservation. So we have lower rates on the lower consumption. And as you increase your consumption, your rates do increase substantially. For irrigation, that one is the one that has the highest at a 10% increase. So from 0 to 50,000 gallons, you're looking at an 85-cent increase. And then the over 500,000 gallon, it's at $2.02. So those go from 85 to $2.02. Looking at wastewater, on your fixed residential and senior both will go up 70 cents a month. And then on the volumetric, it will go up 12 cents a month. Now, one thing on your residential wastewater is that it is capped at 25,000 gallons. So it's built on the same usage, sewer averaging as their water. But if their water consumption is above 25,000, we will not bill more than 25,000 on their wastewater side. So it is capped on that side. For your commercial, this is that first phase in that I mentioned of their trying to get them to cost of service. So their fixed cost goes from $45 to $50.70, so a $5.70 increase. And on the volumetric side, your commercial customers will receive about a $1.12 increase on the volumetric. Now, your commercial wastewater is charged on the total flow, so they are not capped at 25,000 like your residential customers. And when we look at the bills and the impact to your residents, so currently your average resident uses about 8,000 gallons per month. And so it's about $136 per month is their bill, or excuse me, $131 per month. With the new rates, their bill would go up to $136.75. So roughly about $5 per month. On the senior side, it's factored in at 5,000 gallons, and so their current rate is about $117 per month, and it would go up to $121 per month. Now, the financial plan that the rate consultants provided did show that they were recommending a 3-year rate structure with substantial increases in year 2 or 3. And after consultation with the city manager and staff, our recommendation to council is just to approve the first year of those rates, not to approve year 2 and 3, because we do need to go back and reevaluate our capital improvement program and see if there's any way that we can kind of move and slide those projects down and look to see if we can get some reimbursement for some of the projects that we've already done, and then also see if there's any way that some of the capital projects can be paid for by developers. So we're really going to try to see if we can hold off on doing any future rate increases. But we'll evaluate it again next year, and as part of the budget process, we'll present it to them as well. On your commercial side, as current bill is about $373. Their bill is going to go up to $423, so that is a pretty substantial increase, almost $50. And then on irrigation, the current bill is about $204, and that's going up to $231. Now, on your irrigation, that is mostly commercial, but we do have, I believe, about 41 accounts that are residential that they have both meters. They have a meter on their home, and they also have an irrigation meter for to water their lawn. So that will have some impact on some of your residents. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions, council?
I think I've asked this before. Do you pay wastewater rates just for irrigation? Or do you just pay the wastewater and not the volumetric?
Correct. So for wastewater, it's on your domestic meter. So the meter that's on your home is what you pay water and wastewater. You do not pay wastewater on your irrigation meters. So that's why a lot of residents would pay the cost to put in that second meter because it would save them on the wastewater cost.
One more thing. So We got, between Denton and Upper Trinity, we have a 17% increase to us. And it looks like, with the example you just showed, it will be about a 5% increase to our residents. Is that, am I seeing that correct?
Yeah, so 5% on weight on water and 2 and 3% on wastewater, but netting it's about a $5 increase per month. I don't know the exact percentage, but correct.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it. Okay, at this time, I'll open this up for a public hearing on the wastewater proposal. Is there anybody that would want to speak to that? If not, I'll close the public hearing. I entertain a motion on that item.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 23090730, amending section 50.00 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Corinth, approving the first year of the financial plan and corresponding rate structure effective October 1st, 2023.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Cast your vote. It's unanimous. Business agenda. Consider an act on calling a public hearing to be held on October 19, 2023 at Corinth City Hall at 6:30 p.m. to hear public opinion regarding the amendment of land use assumptions, capital improvement plans, and associated impact fees for water, wastewater, and roadway capital improvements. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item is actually a little bit of cleanup from an action item you took a few meetings back. This is to set the public hearing date that is centered around our effort to update our impact fee program. And when you made this motion several meetings back, you set the public hearing date for October 5th. That was our mistake because we weren't thinking about the TML conference and we're not having a meeting that week. So we're asking you tonight to act on this again and set that public hearing date for our second meeting in October, which would be the 19th.
Are there any questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing date for October 19th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. to be held in the City Council chambers at Corinth City Hall, 3300 Corinth Parkway, Corinth, Texas.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Catch your vote. It's unanimous. Item number 11 is to consider an act on interlocal cooperative agreement between Denton County, Shady Shores, Hickory Creek, and Corinth for access to dark fiber optic cable. Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is an item I reported on, actually it's probably been a few months ago. We received a draft agreement from Denton County that would allow them to tie into our fiber ring broadband system that we are obviously sharing with, as a joint project with Shady Shores and Hickory Creek. And this is to allow Denton County, if at such time they want to make a connection, they can, to help them with their connectivity. And so what this agreement does is pay each city based on population. Our portion will be $258,384 from the county that is coming from their ARPA funds. And so tonight we recommend approval of this. I think at the time I told y'all we may have some further discussion with the other two cities about the allocation of those payments, but we all agreed that let's move forward with this agreement with the county. Shady Shores has passed it already, and I think it's going to be on a Hickory Creek agenda soon. And so we recommend approval tonight. City Secretary just passed out a new version of what was in your packet. There's nothing substantive in these changes. They were just some administrative changes that Patricia came across and corrected. And so pleased to bring you this agreement. I think this is a nice thing that the county has proposed, and it helps them out, and it certainly helps us out.
I've got a question, sir. Did Mr. Campbell or Ms. Bunselmeyer, do you remember how much extra this project cost the city of Corinth when Lake Dallas pulled out? Seems like it was a little less than 258,000.
So I believe Lake Dallas portion was about 560,000, and our portion was, I believe, almost 60% of that.
Okay.
If
So
I
we've
remember
come
correctly.
close to recouping
Yes, sir.
that total amount. All right, thank you.
Are there any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion on this item.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement between Denton County, Shady Shores, Hickory Creek, and Corinth as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Cast your vote. It's unanimous. Okay, council comments and future agenda items. The purpose of this section is to allow each council member the opportunity to provide general updates and or comment to fellow council members, the public, and or staff on any issues or future events. Also in accordance with section 30.85 of the Code of Ordinances, at this time, any council member may direct an item be added as a business item to any future agenda. Mr. Garber.
Nothing, sir, thank you.
Mr. Holsworth.
Nothing, Mayor, thank you.
Mrs. Henderson.
I do, I have several. Sunday, September 10th, which is this Sunday, is the Freedom Walk across the bridge. And if you've never done this before, it's not a particular city event or a chamber event. It's the Louisville mayors, and I know the Lake City's mayors. They each meet on their respective sides of the bridge, and they'll be carrying flags. And they walk to the middle of the bridge, and it's in remembrance of 9/11. And it's very heartwarming, emotional, and I mean, it just makes you proud to be an American. So this Sunday the 10th at 6:30, if you would like to meet on the, where do we meet, Mayor? It's on yeah, on this side of the bridge. Yeah, and we will walk across. If you want to go, I can get you more information. And also, starting tomorrow is our very first ever restaurant week for the Lake Cities, and it runs September 8th through the 17th. And this was a program that we started just to help our restaurants. It's not a fundraiser for anyone, but it's just to helping our restaurants, and the chamber is putting this on. So I'd encourage you to go eat at your favorite restaurant during Restaurant Week. And I want to say a huge thank you to the Economic Development Department of Corinth for doing all of our flyers and things like that that I know nothing about. And you did an awesome job, and you really helped on our committee, and I appreciate it. And I'll just segue into thank you, Elise, for your years of service here at Corinth. We will miss you, but we wish you all the best. And then one more that I thought would be of interest is next Wednesday. It is our chamber luncheon, but Chris Wallace, who's the president of the North Texas Commission, will be our speaker, and he is going to have a lot of good information for citizens and businesses, anything you want to know about this area. So I'd encourage you to come to that if you would be interested in learning more.
Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to follow up on the comments about Elise, we just wanted to thank you. This is her last meeting, I think, as everybody knows, and I feel confident I can speak for the staff on how much everybody has enjoyed working with you for the last several years. I'm a little hurt that I don't get to work with you longer, but as y'all know, Elise had a great opportunity presented to her, and she took it, and that happens. And we're very excited for you. We're sad, but thank you for everything you did for this city. We really do appreciate you.
You're not crying, are you? Oh, okay. Again, I'd just like to extend my sincere thanks for all your efforts in the economic development. I think a lot of the things that we're all gonna be witnessing in the near future, is a representative of a lot of her hard work in terms of the 380 agreements and talking to developers and talking to businesses and restaurants and things that want to come here. So again, a lot of people don't realize how much work and effort goes into it, and how many dead ends you run into, and you have to make a U-turn and go back and start over. And again, but we do appreciate all you did. You did it. You did a very good job for us. So we're going to miss you. We wish you the best. And with that, we're adjourned.